Hey, what's up, guys? It is Matt Salvatore from the future. I did want to preface this episode really quick. We did have a slight audio microphone snafu with one of the hosts, so the audio in this episode at some parts is a little rough. I hope it's not too bad for you guys. Builds with Bloks apologizes, but please enjoy the episode. Now back to our regularly scheduled broadcasting. Welcome to Builds with Bloks, a show centered around the micro action figures and brick-based construction sets of the Halo universe. I'm your host, Matt Salvatore. That's right, I'm taking over. And I am joined by boss man Colin Perkins.
Hello. Welcome to the hosting duties.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
Enjoy.
I have all the power now.
That's
I feel
right.
like Palpatine. And Tom Fishington.
Thought I'd try shooting my way out. Mix things up a little.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're mixing things up a bit. And our very own Gabe Clem.
What's going on, everybody?
All right, so today's episode, we are going to be taking a playbook out of our Halo 4 review, but this time we're going to transition it to the Halo Wars sets.
Halo
so we're
Wars.
going to be bringing, yes, we are going to be bringing you a top 10 list of Halo Wars sets, and this time it's going to be actually factual. It's not going to be like that fake news that we got with Halo 4. All right, so we're going to be doing that. We're going to be breaking it down. A little bit of a different structure, but the end product is we're going to have a top 10 list. But before we do that, let's start out with what we've been up to in Halo or on the block front. So we will start with Tom. Tom, take it away.
Yeah, so on the block front for me, I have done a few things, I want to say, and for some reason my brain's like a sieve and I can't really remember any of them apart from one thing.
Oh boy.
Oh no, I know what I've been doing. I've got really into Lego Harry Potter. So
Nice.
for some reason, Mega's on a back burner at the moment, and I've been buying a lot of Lego Harry Potter stuff. So I got the Expecto Patronum set.
Nice.
That comes with Harry, Sirius Black, and 2 Dementors, which was quite cool.
The trees that come with that set are really neat too.
They are, yeah. They're like ghost tail pieces are awesome.
Yeah.
Beyond that, in terms of Christmas, I got some Jazzwares Halo stuff, which was cool. I don't know how much of that I'll be collecting, because I don't have that much space at the moment. But it was cool getting to kind of get some of that stuff in hand and look at it, and we'll be publishing some reviews on that as well. And then beyond that, I got a little set that I think a few people are quite excited about.
Oh, yeah. There it is.
It disappeared just as I got it all in shot. But yeah,
Nice.
cool little set. So there's a review
love
of
it.
this up on the channel at the moment, and I have
Which is
just
really
dropped
good. Go
it.
check it out.
And I also have got the 2 Canadian exclusive sets on their way, and I'll be reviewing them when they arrive as well. So
Brilliant.
Oh, yeah.
it's been pretty decent, you know. I've got my hands on a fair few things. I'm quite happy.
Nice.
Excellent. All right, next we're going to go with Colin Perkins. Colin, what have you been up to?
Yeah. Couple things. So we did Christmas and holidays and all that sort of stuff. I didn't get anything from I usually get a Lego set or something like that, right? But I buy all my own, obviously, right? So the family stayed away from that this year. But my oldest, I did get the Lego Super Mario set, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
And so he's been playing around with that. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's got that big chunky Mario. It's got some electronics in it, and you can bounce it around. And it's got a scanner, so when you hit it on certain little enemies that have the right scanner on the back or on the back of it, it'll give him coins and all that sort of stuff. So he's been having fun with that, and that's been cool to see. And we got a bunch of like the blind bags that come with it. So there's all the different enemies that he can add to his course. And we did get the big Bowser castle. He hasn't built it yet, but there's a big Bowser castle too. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So he's been having fun with that, and then we did get a couple of the Jurassic the poly bags. I grabbed a couple of those along the course of the last year because they don't make them anymore. But I found a couple good deals. So there's like a little baby dino one that's out, and then like a little dinosaur trap one, I guess. So I gave the boys that stuff. We did Pokemon balls too. The little guys, the Mega Constructs ones. I got everybody a couple of those. Even got my wife one of those too, so that she could try to get into it a little bit. And then so good Christmas overall. Obviously had some blocks involved, and let's see what else. Oh, I got the Ghost just like Tom. The Hijack Ghost. I
Nice.
have that. And I did find the Blind Bag Series 2. So by the time you hear this, there'll probably be more out there. But I did get a set of those randomly in a small town near where where we were doing holidays at my parents' place. Just happened to be going through a Walmart. I went to a Walmart, and it was one of those things where like all of the Series 1 boxes were in front, and I was like, oh, wait a minute, pull the box to the side.
Nice.
Series 2, yoink. It was a fresh box, so I grabbed 2 sets, and that way I don't. That, as you guys know, the hunt is painful sometimes, especially during the pandemic. So I'm glad to have found that early and just to be kind of done with it. And maybe I'll grab some extras. I did grab an extra jackal, so I have 3 jackals.
Nice.
But
I wanted
so
to
we'll
grab
talk about those
jackal.
when the rest of us get more of those on our hands. But I'm happy with the set overall. That's the main stuff.
All right, now we are on to you, Gabe. Take it away.
Y'all are gonna lose it.
Oh, here we go. I've been waiting for this.
Uh-oh.
Just today, it was confirmed. But I just bought the Forward Unto Dawn.
Whoa! Congratulations!
And you
Bravo.
know what you didn't buy? You know what you didn't buy, Gabe?
What's that, Mom?
A mammoth.
Because he already bought it.
He's already got it.
I've already got the mammoth. I've got 4 of 5 signature
See,
series.
he bought the
I
best
thought you were
one
about to say
first.
You got 4 mammoths.
That's amazing, dude.
Yeah.
How'd you get it?
Story goes, I was on Facebook Marketplace, and I was searching around for Halo stuff, and a woman so I live in Virginia, and a woman in New York City was selling a in-box complete Forward Unto Dawn.
Yo.
No way.
Guess the price.
$300.
$250.
100.
Store price, $250.
Oh, I got it right.
Mad. Whoa.
That's a steal, man.
MSRP in 2020, the year of our Lord.
I messaged her and I asked about it, and she said, because it said, no shipping, and I messaged her and I was like, look, I don't think you know what this set means to me. Like, I've been looking for this thing since I was like 12 years old. I will pay whatever I have to if you'd ship it. And she was like, well, you sound really excited about it, so sure. Well, I'll ship it to you. And I got
That's
it
amazing.
I got it. So
It's on the way. Is it?
She just shipped it today and sent me the tracking number.
Oh.
And it'll be here on Monday.
Nice work,
that's
dude.
exciting.
That's awesome.
Are you building it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, absolutely. I'm putting it in a case. It's going to have LED lights. It's going to be dust protected. I can't even express the excitement when I saw it. When I saw it on Facebook, I was excited. And then when she actually agreed to send it to me, I could hardly believe it.
Dude, Facebook moms are the best. I love it. Clearing out. Little JoJo went to college.
Yeah, that's what happened. Apparently her stepson, he got older, moved out, and he wanted to sell all his Halo stuff. He's got an elephant, the short sword, the AA gun.
Oh my
and
god.
apparently he had the freaking Forward Unto Dawn, and I was lucky enough to snag it.
Wow.
You know who lived
That's
in New
amazing.
York? Philip V98. Can you imagine if it was Philip's collection?
That'd be hilarious.
Philip will
I'll have
hunt
to
you
hit him
down
up
for
and
that.
be like, "Have you been selling stuff recently?"
But
Well, congratulations, man. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm
Bravo.
so excited.
Yeah.
Because it's such a rare set now. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen a Forward Unto Dawn lately for under like 500.
No.
I was shocked.
No. Yeah, I probably told the story, but at one point, I think it was when I just started collecting in 2018, I think, I actually had 2 Forward to Dawns in my house at one point.
Yeah.
Because I found one was from a random, they were both off Facebook, but one was from like a guy just trying to, or a kid, he was moving it on because he was going to college and was kind of done collecting. And then, the other was from a collector friend that I had. And he was ready to move that on. So I actually I bought one for myself and then another for a collector buddy that I had befriended at the time. And so that's wild, man. That's awesome. Good for you.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
So that means I'm the only one without a Forward Unto Dawn.
Just like how I was the only one without a pelican.
Yeah.
My, how the turns have tabled.
All right, and then I guess we'll get on to my collection. So I did find the Blind Bag Series 2. I was able to grab a couple of them.
Yeah.
I did not grab the Jackal, Grunt, or the Buildable Phantom. I did look.
Was that by
They were
design
pretty picked
or?
Oh, it was pretty picked over, and I was
Oh.
just grabbing. It looked like the box had been taken, but I also did get the earlier. I was able to find the Elite Ultra, and that was in what I used in our Christmas builds with Bloks stop
Yeah, the
motion.
gray one.
Right.
Yep. Mhm.
Yep.
He's
So
kind of
he's
nice.
there. He's much nicer than the. I like the darker gray
Yeah.
over the lighter gray, so
Yep.
I'm impressed. And then I did buy the Ghost,
Oh, nice.
but it was delayed, so it was supposed to get here yesterday, but it's got kicked down the road. So Amazon, you are trying my patience. And then, so for Christmas, I did say earlier I got the Falcon. I got my brother the Razor Crest, so we sat down and built Legos on Christmas Day as we watched Rogue One. So
you mean
it was,
the Falcon, like with the Reach Falcon? That one?
No, the Millennium Falcon.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Millennium Falcon. Gotcha.
So I grabbed that, and then an interesting thing though, I will stop and poke fun at Lego a little bit, and I'll compare them to Mega. After building the Pelican and seeing that they finally opened the cockpit up to the bay so that you can actually go through as in game, right? Seeing the Falcon and seeing that there is basically no way to get into the cockpit from the actual bay is so ridiculous to me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so first off, the cockpit doesn't even seat as many people as it should, and I can get my head around that because it's a smaller set. But you can't even make like a door or a, just something that like shows that it's part of it.
Difficult.
Yeah,
Huh.
it's weird because
That's
they're
a
trying to
bummer.
keep that portion narrower. But I guess in my opinion, because there's like a bay, you could basically make a door. But so I'm a little disappointed with that. But other than that, the Falcon's a pretty cool set.
I would bet like the
comes-
big giant one that they made probably
Oh, yeah,
has
for
that,
sure.
but they weren't
I
able
would
to
hope
fit it in
so.
for some reason.
If it
But,
doesn't,
yeah,
it
that's-
doesn't
that's too
deserve
bad.
to be.
It doesn't have much of an interior.
Really?
There's
Really?
like there's like the area where Han's computer desk is,
Uh-huh.
and there's one of the little smuggler areas, and then you can get into the cockpit, and that's it.
Gee.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay,
You're
I'd have to
basically
take a closer
paying for a
look.
display piece.
I was gonna say, isn't that thing like $800 or something?
Yes, it is.
It is, yeah.
Mhm.
It is. Yeah. So anyway,
That's disgusting.
it comes with a figure also that is in the movie for maybe a minute. So I was wondering about that. Like maybe
Oh
a
yeah,
minute.
that one guy.
I-
Yep.
You see a piece of him later, but
Yep. That was a weird choice too.
all right, guys, let's get into it. So before we start, I'm going to go through the ground rules. We have 3 rounds. First round, we're each going to pick 5 sets of the 35 or so sets that we have from this wave of Halo Wars because they've sprawled through the years. So we're going to pick 5.
So these are only like we did with Halo 4, right? We're only talking about Halo Wars inspired sets, right?
Correct.
So,
Correct. So,
Okay.
for example, the Vulture is a set that we can pick because the Vulture only appears in Halo Wars. We'll pick those 5, and then from there, we will cut 8 sets, leaving us... Round 2, we'll be cutting 8 sets, leaving us with 12. And then for round 3, we will organize the top 10 and drop 2.
ooh,
So-
okay. I like it.
We are going to end up with a top 10. Whether it's the correct list or not, we will see.
Well, you're in charge, so
Exactly. So I have the final rule.
you've got the gavel.
How did the Mammoth become top number 1 in the Halo Wars series? Let's begin with round 1. Gabe, why don't you give us your first pick?
All right. Actually,
Choose
it's
wisely.
not even a challenge. First one I want to pick is Gosshog versus Locust.
Ooh,
Okay.
excellent. A set I did get for Christmas
Yeah,
a
the
while
locust,
back.
man.
Excellent.
Love me
excellent.
that locust.
That original Locust too.
So does that count as both locusts? Because there were 2.
No, because the other Locust is a multiplayer map set.
Oh, okay.
Oh, but I guess if you want to do the variants like we were talking about, yeah.
Halo Wars
Yeah.
vehicles.
The
Yeah,
builds
so yeah.
are very similar anyway, so you might
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
Let's
might
just
as well.
do there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, do the variants. Perfect. All right, Thomas, give us your pick.
Oh, okay.
Thomas.
Are we not justifying them? Or are we just going straight for it? Yeah.
Let's
yeah,
justify
yeah.
him. Let's justify him once we got a list. Like next time
Yeah,
when we're
yeah.
fighting for him, I think that
Okay.
makes
Yeah.
more sense.
That
So-
we can do that when we're chopping these ones out.
Yeah.
My first pick is going to be the Covenant Combat Unit.
Ooh, now what comes in this particular Covenant combat unit?
It's a Brute, 2 purple grunts, which are the version 1 grunts, and a purple elite combat.
Okay. Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
Cool.
Colin?
Put me on the spot there.
Dropship. Pelican dropship. Easy.
That's a good pick. Yeah. That should be up there. If it's not, we're throwing this whole episode out. I'm gonna go. Okay, now I gotta preface my picks. Obviously, we all know that when Mega first started out, the build quality isn't the masterful awesomeness that it is now. But
Like
a lot
the,
of
the
these
bricks didn't fit together that great.
perfectly. It wasn't great, but I'm
Consistently.
going to say that my picks are kind of borderlining on nostalgia because this is where I started with. I've had these for so long, so I'm going with the OG Warthog.
Oh boy, there it is.
Now that comes with a Covenant turret, 1 elite, and 2 Spartan 2s.
So should we just preface? I don't think we've talked about that. We're having this conversation about more design and like playability than kind of because those early sets were looser fit and some stuff fell apart and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. I agree with that.
I mean,
Okay.
I was going to say on that topic with the Pelican, I know everyone says it's a great set, but mine never fully went together, so I feel like that would definitely skew it other ways.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's a talking point, but I feel like let's focus on what it looked like, and then, maybe
when
maybe you had to glue it together for some reason. Not that we want that to be an option.
The
but
Craggle?
When we get into a discussion about the Pelican, like in depth, I got a story. It just happened recently. All right, Gabe, why don't you give us your second pick?
Second pick. UNSC Rhino.
Ooh,
Rhino, cool. It's got like the stuff that comes down, right? Rhino,
Yeah, like lockdown mode comes with the grunts and the what is that? A recon?
I think so.
Yeah, it's a red recon, right? And it
That-
also
that-
comes
That's
with
an
a.
alternate armor set as well, I think.
It also comes with a forerunner structure, like a little tower, which is kind of neat.
Right.
Yeah.
And the Marine, yeah.
does
Funny
that
thing
Rhino
about the
show up in any other? I should know this. It might show up in Spartan Strike randomly or something like that.
maybe, but
It's
I
got
remember
it's got a plasma cannon. If you guys remember,
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
when it came out, these sets were obviously geared more towards Halo 4, like this wave. So when I played Halo 4, I kept waiting for the Rhino to show up, and it never did.
Yeah.
I'm like, where's the Rhino?
Where's the Rhino?
I'm like, why are they rolling this mammoth? They should just send a Rhino.
True that.
All right, am I up?
You are up, so.
All right, this one is within arm's reach, so I'm going to grab it and I'll drive it in. I'll back it in. Beep beep.
Ooh.
Transport.
Ooh. Yes, sir.
I love this little transport. This one I actually got in a random lot. I didn't expect to get this one. It just showed up. It does. I never. I might have ordered the stickers, but I'm okay with it being off for now. But I love this little guy. And the pack, the Walmart version of this one, is a great pack. It's got a ton of figures in it, a bunch of brutes, some grunts, a couple. I think it's Spartans.
Ultimate army builder.
Yeah,
pack.
so good. It was
Yeah.
like $30. Like
Yeah.
that thing. Is...
I wish I had grabbed that. I got the red Target version.
The red ones, I like the red color, but it's just not as good of a value, I don't think.
Yeah.
Overall.
Oh, for sure.
So,
Yeah.
but the builds are the same. But yeah.
All right, Tom.
I am gonna pick the UNSC Gremlin.
Oh.
Purely because I think it's a really unique vehicle, and we've not really seen anything like it since in terms of the capacity it has in the game.
Yeah.
So
And it's got a rail gun, correct? Is that more of what it is?
it's
The
a
cannon?
EMP.
It's an EMP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it does have something to shoot on top. But I think that's an Anders specific leader vehicle, I believe.
Possibly.
It's been a
I'm
while.
awful
I don't
when it
know.
comes to Halo
Yeah.
Wars
Well, I
knowledge.
played it fairly recently, so I think it
Yeah,
only shows
yeah.
up in for.
I
only
do
Colin
have
is
the-
the game expert here, so what
Correct.
he says goes.
Well,
Research in mission debrief.
that's right. Game expert with a terrible memory. So we're just.
He
gonna
got
go
his
with Anders.
diploma. All right, is it back to me? It is. I'm going to go with the feared Covenant tank, the Wraith.
Oh, okay,
The
cool.
original Wraith.
The OG
The
one, right?
OG
Yeah, that
Wraith.
big chunky. Dang.
Yeah, man. You could knock someone out with
Chunky
this
Wraith.
thing. All right, Gabe, back to you.
Since I'm the figure guy, I gotta go with the Series 1 of the Halo Mega Bloks blind packs.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yep.
The peak of
I like
original.
that.
Those were, yeah.
Nice, nice.
So sorry, is the display piece that's Halo Wars 2, right? Remember, it's got like six different figures. It's got little stands. It's like some sort of an anniversary piece.
Oh, that's just 10th
Oh,
anniversary.
Yeah, the 10th anniversary of Halo, Halo Mega Bloks, yeah.
Yeah, I believe so.
It's not of Mega Bloks, so I think it's 10th anniversary of maybe Halo.
Yeah. It might.
Yeah,
it might
Halo-
have been their
Yeah, it might
10-year
be,
line.
yeah.
It's got a
Of the-
Flame
of the
Marine.
Sets.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Flame Marines really only show up in Halo Wars. So anyway, I don't think I'll nominate. I was just curious. All right, am I up?
You also.
Wow.
All right, let's see here. Dropship Hog. Let's go with the Scorpion. The dusty Scorpion.
Yeah.
The sand.
He's
Scorpion,
literally got
yeah.
like the 3 most iconic Halo vehicles.
I mean, come on.
I grabbed the Warthog. I grabbed the Warthog.
It's almost as if this was rigged.
Yeah.
It's nearly like they planned it beforehand.
Well, they're not mine. I'm just adding
They-
to them to the list. It's our list.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Well, remember, all of these have to be battled out at the end, so it's good when someone picks up a set that you like also.
Yes.
True.
Yes. Okay, Tom.
So I picked the sniper drop pod, but we said that just to keep it consistent, I would represent the drop pods entirely. So I
Correct.
think I kind of explained why I like them so much in the ODST episode. So go listen to that.
Ooh, shameless plug.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So that's what the ones that they open, right? And they're
The proper drop pods.
oh proper. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh. All right. So I'm going to go with the aerial ambush. Now, the cool thing about this is there is a anniversary edition of this, so because they're variants, I'm going to cover both of them. I mean, they're basically the same set, just one's a whole hell of a lot better.
And that's the old
Yes.
Well,
Oh.
we'll talk about that. Does everybody own the old one?
one. Nope. And I don't own the
I
new
have
one.
it. I don't think I have a complete one, but I've got one from a lot. So
Okay.
yeah.
I
Oh.
I
I don't
actually
either.
You know what? I have the Covert Ops one, also from a random
oh
lot.
the ODST Hawk one.
That one's
Super
dope.
rare.
Yeah.
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 Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember I didn't grab that one because I liked the green better.
Okay.
Now I kind of wish I had grabbed it. Gabe,
Is
back
my
to
call
you.
next?
It is.
Let's go with the Hornet versus Vampire set.
Ooh, that's a good set. I remember wanting that
yeah.
Hornet so bad. I think it's, in my opinion, it's still the best Hornet out there.
Is that the Lights and Sounds one?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
Okay.
part of their 2013, 2014 Lights and Sound series.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't built that one yet. I do have it. I just haven't built it.
It's
Nice.
quite nice. It's similar to the NMPD build.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Consistency.
Colin, I think it's you.
I am gonna go. So, I got a couple of Cyclops in a random lot again. I've had some random lots, and I was like, "What is this?
Lots of
thing?
them.
This thing is kind of silly." And then I think I forget if I had gotten the second wave one before or after. But anyway, once I started comparing it to the other one, I'm like, "Wait a minute, maybe this one is actually better." Especially because I have like the kids and stuff like that. I like, as I was starting to play with it, and I've kind of put a lot of my Halo stuff away for now. But anyway, it's perfect for kids. Like this little thing. It looks like the Cyclops in the game, and I have no problem giving them that. And there's some stuff that might break, but like that thing's sturdy and it's very playable. You can drop your little dude in there. If I gave them the newer Cyclops, that thing would just fall apart, and that's a Halo Wars 2 design anyway.
Playability will be a factor.
Yes, but I love the the damage control one, the red one with like the shovel and the pickaxe. It's so amazing.
I mean, technically, isn't that the one it is in the game? Because when you see them in the campaign, they are outside, like, repairing the spirit as it's
Yeah,
gone into
that's
the
all they
shield
do.
world, aren't they?
They repair stuff and then they knock down buildings. That's like their specialty. Otherwise, they're useless in Halo Wars. It's
It's
bizarre.
like a Hulkbuster suit.
It is, yeah.
Oh.
But they
It reminds
have.
me of,
I'll list off
the-
all of them when we talk about it. But
The
there's a lot.
Avatar. It reminds me of the Avatar mech
Amp
suits.
suit.
True.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tom,
All right. Thomas.
Gabe, your English accent is beautiful. So for my
Was that sarcasm, Tom?
I went with the elephant V2.
Oh.
I'll
Okay.
talk about this one more when we come round to it because
There's so
I
many
really
good
like this set.
That's a cool set. There's lots of playability there, too.
Okay.
And it's done better than other sets that have similar playability.
Oh.
Is that a dig at the mammoth, Tom?
It's not. No, it's not. It's. I'll go into more detail, but basically, there's a few Halo Wars sets that have 2-in-1 features, and in my opinion, this one does them best.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. All right, I'm going to go with a smaller set because I remember this set was a really little nice addition that you could get a couple of these figures with. So I was going with the UNSC Mongoose. So you get a turret and a mongoose and 2 figures. And you get I think this is the first time I actually got a sniper rifle.
Yeah, same.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
my first sniper rifle in the Halo Mega Bloks. It's just all this nostalgia, guys. I'm like, my first time getting this one and this one.
That's good,
Good stuff.
man.
It's also a good set. And that mongoose is actually one of the better builds for it, I think.
I like those little mongooses.
Yep. I got 2 of them. And back to you, Gabe.
I think I'll match your mongoose and go with the Covenant Ghost.
Ooh.
Okay. Original
First
design.
grunts?
You get 2 little grunts, you get an elite,
3.
there you go.
I think you get 3 little grunts.
Is it 3? Maybe it's 3. I always hated those little grunts.
I might be wrong. It could be 2. I thought it was
almost
3.
sounded really insulting.
Is this our last pick?
Yes.
It is.
Oh yeah, I think it is.
Okay. So, I think another iconic. I'm gonna go with all the iconic vehicles.
Yeah,
apparently,
I guess
from Halo
so.
Wars. I'm gonna pick. I gotta get the Wolverine in there. It's the first time it showed up. There wasn't a Wolverine before.
Yeah, that's true.
And there's 3 variants, and they vary. You know, mostly color. I think the build is actually the same
It is.
for all of them, and I believe I do have them all. Yeah, the Covert Ops, the Arctic, and then the straight green Wolverine.
I got Arctic and green.
So the Arctic and the green both come with a hunter,
Yep.
which is cool.
Pink
And then,
hunter. Pink and
I think
purple.
Marine. Looks like it was a Marine on the other one. So
Correct. Also, probably the first time in Mega Bloks where you actually got like a flick missile
yeah,
playability
Yeah,
factor
like one
in
of the-
there.
So
Something
I got
that
another
actually
random
launches.
story. Sorry, I don't mean to be this long, but when I just started collecting and more random lot stuff, I found a bunch of those little missiles in the lot. And I'm like, what the hell are these things? Because I had just started, right? And then they were just all scattered out throughout this thing. And then I found this big chunky missile launcher thing, and was like, what is this? Is this a Lego thing? Like, what's going on here? And it like took me a while to finally, like, as I was building other sets, I think I was trying to build the Warthogs that were in there, and then I finally got, what? Oh, it's a Wolverine, and then it kind of all came together, right? And I was like, oh, okay, brilliant.
And it's got a powerful launch.
cool.
Like,
Yeah,
it
it's
can
good.
go far.
They
Yeah,
did
so it could
improve on it
blow
too.
your eye out.
So the first one, it stuck quite a bit, like the little shooters. But by my Covert Ops one, it shoots really nicely.
Nice, nice. Now there is a variant, I would say, that leans more in the Halo 2, where they actually did a different tread design. So we're going to leave that for Halo Wars 2 because I would say it
whole
falls
different-
more
yeah,
in that
it's a
campaign.
different
Yeah,
look,
it's a whole different Wolverine. Yep. So that's the Logan. All right, Tom.
Okay. Number 1 for me.
Number
is
one?
A set, yeah, number 1. I've done it from like least favorite to most favorite. It's a set that I've always liked purely because it's based on a really iconic real life vehicle. So the design for both this and the longsword are based on the B2 stealth bomber, which I think is such a fascinating vehicle in itself. so I had to pick the short sword.
Short sword.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think this was one of the first times that we got jackals as well, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think it's the first time I got a carbine
Yeah.
because these jackals came with carbines and first pilot.
Yep.
It was more of a, not the pilot you got, the Pelican, but the more Halo 3-ish pilot.
Yeah, the whole cover
Yeah.
one. The same figure came in the blind bags, I think, as well. Gabe,
Yeah,
you might know that.
There was a white one in Series 3, and there may have been a green one in Series 1, I believe.
Cool.
This guy was green though in the broadsword.
Yeah.
I have that set. I have many good things to say about it. Very
Yeah.
solid build. Yeah.
It's one
All
that
right.
I've debated. I was going to say I've debated tracking one down on eBay just because I remember I had mine built at one point and bits of it fell off and it ended up just becoming a box of parts.
Yeah.
And I think I've got rid of all the parts now, so I'd really just like
Oh.
to get one that I can have built.
Yeah, it's a cool piece. Fun fact: it's that those things show up in the first mission when Forge gets up to Alpha. I think it's Alpha Base, right?
Yeah.
Then they do a bombing run right away.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't
I always
see.
remember them from Spartan Team Omega, that trailer where like you see them all coming in
Yeah.
as it slowly pans out to the Spartans. That's always really
Yeah,
stuck with me.
they have a cool look.
We don't see that short sword in any other Halo games, do we?
No.
Yeah.
They may mention. I think they mention them, but I don't think they are in any
Yeah.
other media.
Yeah, it's the same with the stealth ship that Blue Team flies in, the
Prowler.
what is it?
Yeah.
Prowler. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, this is left for me. So I am going to take probably but Locke comes in that set. It's a drawback, but I'll go with the Vulture.
The chonky vulture.
Yep, it's got a lot of good things. It's got some bad things. It's got some things, but Locke is definitely a negative. No, I'm just
Wow.
kidding.
That's
I will. Okay,
that's a good
just
list.
a quick thing on Locke is he looks ridiculous without shoulder pads. That's
Yeah,
why he looks
I agree
ridiculous
with
in that set.
Yeah.
All right,
Can you list this thing off? Because I feel like this is a lot more bigger sets than our Halo 4 conversation. Like, there's a lot of
yeah.
bricks
we're taking a bigger chunk. So I'll run through the 20 that we have.
But it makes sense. It makes sense, right? Because this is their original line, right? The original focus
Right.
of the Mega Bloks run was
And-
Halo Wars.
And the sets have also, through the years, they've added to it. That's why we have a Vulture in 2015 when the original line was 2009. All right, so starting with me, I picked the UNSC Warthog, the Wraith, Aerial Ambush, the UNSC Mongoose, and our Vulture. Colin chose the UNSC Transport Hog, the Wolverine, the Pelican Dropship, the Scorpion, and the Cyclops. Tom went with the Short Sword, the Gremlin, the Drop Pod, ODST Drop Pods, Covenant Combat Unit, and the Elephant. And then Gabe went with the Goshawk versus Locust, Covenant Ghost, the Series 1 Blind Bag, UNSC Rhino, and the UNSC Hornet versus Vampire. So, gentlemen, we are now on to round 2. Now,
How do we decide? Because there's a lot of good
Can I
sets
throw
here,
a
man.
wild
Okay,
card
I
out?
say what we do is we pick one and we target it that it should be removed, and if we all agree, then we can move it out.
Okay, I like
Okay.
that.
So if you want to take one out, then then the person who picked it has to defend it.
I'm
Or we
going
can
to
all
drop
defend
a
it.
wild card here.
Oh
I'm
boy!
happy for 3 of mine to go right at the start.
Whoa!
Really? Compared to everybody
Yeah.
else's.
Because although I personally like the Covenant Combat Unit, the Drop Pods, and the Gremlin, I don't think they are the best Halo War sets out there.
Okay. I mean, looking at this list,
Yeah, let me look at mine.
it's hard to argue.
Okay, I will agree with Tom, and I will say the Covenant Combat Unit could probably slip away because it's more of a figure-based, though very cool
Yeah.
army builder. I like that we got a purple elite, but I would say that especially, I like how Halo Wars was so centered on color as a game, because you had to see your units from far away, and you had purple, and you had a lot of red, and you had a lot of blue, and a lot of green. But I think it kind of captures the figures well. But I'll say, yeah, probably you can kick that one. So I'll agree with Tom on that
Is
one.
it early to get rid of the drop pods?
I don't know. I feel like the drop pods could stay in there because, in my opinion, they are some of the strongest. I mean, I love the new drop pods, but I also love the old ones, and I think they were done very well.
I mean, Gremlin, I could see as compared. No, that's good. Let's just talk about it.
Jeepers.
The Gremlin.
I want you to fight, Thomas.
I think I like the Gremlin, but
it's a cool looking vehicle.
Also kind of mediocre. It is kind of just a truck with a turret on top of it.
I'll give you my story about the Gremlin and why I bought it. So when I was younger, we lived near a Kmart, and Kmart was the only place that had mega block sets at the time, right? And so I bought all the sets. I bought the Mongoose there, and I bought a couple of other sets, and they did have a Gremlin, and I kept passing it by numerous of times until finally I was just wanting a new set so bad that I bought the Gremlin. So it's not my favorite set. I think as I built it, I appreciated a couple of things about it. One thing I'll say is that
the big windshield.
That was a drawback. The interior of it is completely hollow. So you can open it up and put little boxes and crates and store figures in there.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of cool as a little transport vehicle. So I would transport some troops in that. The wheels, the suspension system was actually much better than the Warthog. So I liked the suspension system on that. Mm-hmm. And I think it was the first time I got a Marine.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
So you didn't do blind bags then, right? Or did they have Marines in those blind bags?
To be honest, the blind bags were never around at the stores that I was in. It wasn't until later that they actually started showing up. And back then I was not online hunting like I am today.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. I mean, I think you kind of made the argument for dropping it, right? Because you passed over it, and then you finally grabbed it. And then you were like kind of lukewarm on it.
Gremlin for me is just such a niche, like it's unique, but I feel like it's like really unique. Like it's just one of those one-off vehicles that you're like,
only in Halo Wars.
Yeah, like that's interesting, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Well, what I was saying about it though is that I did pass it by, but when I finally built it, it did have some nice qualities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I can see why you're dropping it. It's like you said, it's not a premier vehicle. But
out of those three, then, do we want to drop the Gremlin and the combat unit?
I'm okay with that.
I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, cross it off the list. Gremlin. All right, so, all right, Gabe, I'm gonna make you defend your Series 1.
Okay.
Blind bags?
Sorry. The list just moved, and I thought someone deleted my Series 1 blind bags, and I was like, what? I didn't even defend it yet.
That's how powerful I am in this episode.
Wait, what list, Gabe?
You don't like Series 1?
Well, I say that we are in a episode where we are picking the top 10 sets, and you have a primarily figure-based. And I think Tom's combat unit, I think his point is valid that it is a figure-centric. I'm just saying, what figure?
Yeah, sell us on the quality of those.
What does it set it apart? What actually comes in it?
Is if we're recording this based off of it's supposed to be sets, then why did we even include figure-based things? Why did we even put these on the list? If you knew you wanted this episode to be sets,
technically it is a set. It is a what we would consider a set. It's just
like
not a buildable. You know what I mean? Like it's not. I'm saying the primary idea is buildable, but it's a set that's included, right? Like
the old school figures. To be fair,
the drop pods are mainly built, right? But I would still consider them a set. You know. I'm just saying, sell me. I'm not saying that it can't be there. I'm saying because last time in Halo 4, hold on, our Halo 4 episode, we had Crimson and Yankee. I mean, not Yankee. We had Sierra. Sierra and Crimson made it on the Halo 4 list. So figures can make it there.
That's a good point.
So sell me on this list. What about it? What actually comes in it? Because I'm not familiar.
In my personal Series 1 of the Halo Mega Bloks blind packs came with 8 figures,
Oh, really?
and that was the green Spartan, green Pilot, a green Elite, a purple Elite, a red Halo Wars Marine, a yellow Halo Wars Flame Trooper, a blue Halo 3 Hayabusa, which is like...
The Hayabusa.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then...
Was that the rare?
Yeah, that was one of them, because the ultra rare was the active camo Halo Wars Mark IV Spartan with the assault rifle, which, by the way, only time they have ever done an active camo assault rifle.
What?
That's the only one they've ever made.
That's wild.
Wow. See, that's a selling point.
See? Like, that figure, and I have one. I have one of that figure. I got it off of eBay, but that's the only time they've ever done it. But I explain all this because sets are cool. I like building as much as everybody else. I obviously like figures more. But if you've got, like Colin, for instance, Colin really likes the Pelican. Pelican comes with, 4 figures? The Pilot, 3 Spartans?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Typically, a Pelican is a troop transport vehicle. What good is a Pelican if you don't have troops to transport?
I like that. I knew you were going there.
Packs, the blind packs themselves give you 1 green Halo Wars Spartans. So if you don't like colored figures, you can just get the base Halo Wars. There you go. You got multiple Spartans. You've got purple elites. So you've got the most basic Covenant, that is an enemy type figure. Then you have all the other little fill-ins if you want to do versus battle or something. You've got pilots to drive your other vehicles if you want. That's why I think these are a viable option, because they add to the sets that you would already have, and they would make them more enjoyable.
Yeah, and talk about the quality too, because that's something that I've gone back and forth on. As I started collecting, I was like, well, these old things, they like the elbows only go like this. Like I didn't know that, but then you look at the quality of the paint and the care that was taken in those, and you're like, oh, this is a whole different ball game. Like the super articulation has its benefits, but
and what would you say is the
pretty nice
standout figure, favorite one out of those?
That's hard because they all have different. So, like, I almost said Hayabusa, but that's just because Hayabusa is, it's Hayabusa. Everybody loves it. Oh, my gosh. But
I'm not a Hayabusa guy.
The active camo Spartan, I feel like I'd say that, but it's just rare.
Yeah.
I mean, personally, my favorite figure out of it is probably the green Elite, actually.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that would be my favorite, too, actually.
That's one of my favorite figures in that first series.
That almost kind of has a bit of a Halo 3 vibe with the green Elite.
What's up, Colin?
Can I ask a Hayabusa question? I know I should know this, but I missed multiplayer, a lot of it when that's Halo 3, right? That's when that first came up? Hayabusa?
Yes.
Okay. But then this set has the Mark IV Spartans.
Yeah, it's mainly Halo Wars, but the
Halo Wars Spartans, but with Hayabusa.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just looking at my Pelican because that's got Hayabusa in it, but it's got Mark IVs in it.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, everything in Series 1 is Halo Wars except for that Hayabusa.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys, challenge another set. What should go?
Oh, I was going to challenge this.
Challenge what?
The blind bags. Gabe.
Oh.
I love you. You do an amazing British accent.
But
I think when it comes to top 10, as much as I like blind bags, I think this is an example of a weaker blind bag series. Purely because you're talking about wanting to amass troops, but the only 2 I would consider army builders are the elites. I don't want loads of Spartans. I don't need loads of pilots. Flame Marines, maybe if they were in an accurate colour, but not yellow. Again, the standard Marine if it was in an accurate colour, but it's red. Don't need a lot of Hayabusas. I just feel like for me, when it comes to blind bags, I want to be able to get a lot of things that are easily massable, and I feel like a lot of this line would be one and done for me.
The only problem I have with your argument is your last couple words.
Oh boy.
Yeah. It's like your opinion, man.
Yeah, you don't really, if you don't want to collect these figures, you don't have to. But I mean, everybody, like me, I think I got at least 6 of each one of these figures.
Yeah, okay. So we've all defended it. I think we should put it to a vote.
Well, can we just leave it on and go to a different one? I feel like let's leave it on. There's enough argument there to leave it on.
What I'll say about it is, like, if you were to compare this series to the Pelican, obviously I'd choose Pelican over these figures because they're figures. That's Pelican, but for what they are, I still think that they're valuable and they're important to a collector if they are so inclined.
I think it's a good series, and I think the blind bags certainly have an excellent place in collecting. I just don't think it ebbs out the other sets. And as we get into what belongs in the top 10, I think we'll be able to find that out. So somebody challenge another set.
I'm gonna throw out the original Warthog. Nostalgia aside, I don't think it competes with the rest of this stuff. And obviously, we know what we know now about the Warthog design and stuff like that. But it's not the Warthog that I want from Halo. Sure, it's the Halo Wars design. I get that, but I don't. I built it, and it was after I built a bunch of the other Warthogs. I'm like, what is this thing? Like, why is the turret doing this? And and I know it was their first attempt at it, so I get that. They were working up to what the brilliance that we have right now of the vehicle, but I don't think it belongs in the list. So I would say cut that.
I'd like to defend it. I think a lot of it just comes from nostalgia. There's obviously a lot of problems with it. Obviously, you can see it, like Colin was talking about, as the prototype that would eventually become what we have now in Infinite Warthog. Yeah. Turret doesn't spin. The transmission system is buildable, and it's not just a solid piece like many of the other Warthogs that came after it. The tow cable design is very loose, comes off easily. A lot of things. You can see the beginning of it, and I'm not going to argue that it's the best set. I'll say that a lot of it is nostalgia. So if you guys want to cut it, I'm okay with it on a design position. You know what I mean? Like I think design wise, it fails.
Yeah, it's weird not having a Warthog on a Halo list.
Yeah,
but I feel like that one of the vehicles. That one's one of the early ones that need to go.
I am willing to surrender it.
Okay.
Cool. Respect.
I mean, a lot of it's nostalgia. Oh, go for it, man. This is it. This is the debate stage of builds with blocks.
The first original Cyclopses are ridiculous.
Oh,
you don't like them?
I don't like the Cyclopses.
Now we're going to get into the battle of playability.
Because I was like, oh, cool, it's a Cyclops. I put it together. It was like, it can't even, it's built like a Lego figure.
It is.
It can't even move. It can't even move. Because Most is like, oh, playability. What playability? He can't even touch his toes.
But are they better than the Halo Wars 2 Cyclopses?
And they made 20 different versions of it.
I know. Yeah. So that's the other thing. The green one was cool. The tan one slightly less cool than the green, but cool. And then everything from there forward, I was like, why does he have it?
So
apart from
Gabe,
damage control, which
you are challenging the very thing that Colin said was its strength, and you're saying that the playability fails because it's not very mobile. So Colin, defend the playability of it.
Well, so I don't know if I want to. Because I was the Cyclops in Halo Wars 2 are better. They're better vehicles when you're playing the game, but the design of that one is flimsy, so I kind of have to take that out of the equation. When I think about Halo Wars and Cyclops, like I said before, they don't really do anything. They look kind of cool. They're little mech suits, but they're if you're kind of trying to reenact what they do in Halo Wars, they don't really do much. So it's kind of hard to defend that. My perspective is I think they're neat because they're Halo things that I happily can give to my kids and say, here, you probably won't break this. You can stick a little guy in there. And I have given them some, and they do incorporate those into their play and whatnot. But I think I do like it because they're kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And they made so many
Nothing
of
wrong
them.
with that.
So when you stack it up, if we're going down the list and would I rather have a Pelican dropship, a Scorpion, a Wolverine, would I rather have those over a Cyclops? Yeah, that's fine. So I'm okay with it being off the list.
Okay, so if you're going to surrender the Cyclopses, as of right now, we have the Cyclops, the original Warthog, and then we have the Covenant Battle Unit, and which one did you else throw off?
Oh, yeah, we gotta draw lines through these instead of delete them.
Oh, the gremlin.
The gremlin. Okay, so we
gremlin.
lost the gremlin. There we go. So 4 sets are off. We need 4 more to move into round 3. So,
Okay.
Tom, why don't you challenge a set?
Let me take.
Pick one that doesn't deserve to be there.
Just got that 1,000-yard stare going.
I'm just
I
debating
gotta
if
review
it's
the
worth
list.
making an enemy doing this episode or not.
Oh, boy.
I'll quit right now.
Gabe's in a quitting mood right now. Like,
Jeez.
just flips the table.
It'll only be your own table, though.
I'm gonna argue against the mongoose purely because it's a nice set,
Okay.
but I think when you look at what else is on this list now, it doesn't bring as much potential. So that you kind of get 2 figures, a small ATV type vehicle you can't do too much with, a nice turret. I really do like the turret build in that set, but I feel like it just doesn't stack up against some of the heavier weights that are on the list.
I will agree that it's not going to stack up against the heavier list, but I will argue that I think other sets can go before it. And I'm looking at the Covenant Ghost right now.
I did
Oh.
debate picking
I
that.
knew
to be
this
fair.
was coming. I knew it.
As much as I love the I'm going to take your attack and I'm going to spin it to attack somebody else. As much as I love the Covenant Ghost, I think there's, like the Warthog, it is the prototype. It
Yeah,
does
that's fair.
consist of a lot of design flaws, and namely, I'm going to say the seat. It's very hard to sit an elite on a 2-brick slab. As you see in the later ones, it's a 1, so it can actually fit fit the figure. This one, it kind of ends up kicking its knees up into its face, which the handles for it aren't connected to the main body, and it feels very low to the ground. So, in my opinion, and not to mention that the grunts aren't.
Wait, how did we go from you
Hold
to me?
on.
We're talking about your manga.
I had to defend my mongoose by killing the ghost.
Somebody's already put a line through it.
Shoot. Okay. That was not me. So to defend the mongoose over, say, something like the ghost, I think the figures are perfect for army building, and I don't think in the game it shows you in Halo 3. I'm gonna pull it to Halo 3. You have that bay before you go out to attack the scarab, and you have all those mongooses. So I don't think having a lot of mongooses is a bad thing. I think it also enables you to sit 2 figures on it, which is a game feature. So I don't think it's necessarily. I don't think, like I'll say, it's not the best, but I don't think it's necessarily. I don't think we're at that point. Like the series, I'm willing to have that talk. Does it belong in the top 10? But I'd like to leave it with the series unless we find something else.
Yeah.
I'm willing.
Wait,
to
hold on.
cut it.
I got a good argument.
Uh-oh.
It's not in Halo Wars.
What?
There's no mongoose in Halo Wars.
There you go.
Oh, so it's not in the. So it's not. Yep. It's
It
by
was
default.
with the original waves of vehicles
But
because it's a
is
Halo
that
vehicle.
turret in Halo Wars?
The turrets. You're gonna fight for the shade?
No. I'm saying the turret in the set. Is that in
It's a
Halo Wars?
Oh,
It's like a mega design, I think.
Is
is
that
it a
turret?
shade?
'Cause that-
I'm not looking at it. Is it a shade turret?
It's
It's like a tall turret that's got quad turrets and it's got like a canopy over it.
Oh, that thing. Yeah.
No.
That
That's
thing might
that's
You're
no,
thinking
that's
of
the
aerial,
the hawk.
the
Your aerial
the
assault.
hawk thing.
This one has a
It's kind of
seat.
shaped like this.
Yeah, and it's got a special piece that connects the gun to the seat.
I got
And then
it.
it's got
Yeah.
2 energy fins.
Oh yeah.
Is that in Halo Wars?
That might be, but I feel like that's not what you're arguing.
Well, it's
You're
the
arguing
set.
for the goose.
It's
and the
the
goose ain't
set.
in Halo Wars.
But it's the set.
I also do want to counteract. You said
It's a
that
part
it
of-
can fit 2 figures. This
It can.
version of the mongoose struggles because it's only a 1 stud wide gap in the back and there's no standing space. Whereas that is something that they iterated on later,
Well, no,
where they added
you
the
put-
area that
you
the
put the
figure could
figures-
actually stand.
No, you put the figure's hand onto that bar, then you put one of their legs in the gap, and then you put one of the legs over the side. So it looks like he's sitting and holding it, so it still
But
works.
Is that how they do it in game?
Oh boy.
Oh boy, they don't have blue Haba.
It's only because I
Hey,
remember
Boosie.
back in the day, if you had
Like I said, I'm willing
figures
to
that
let
had,
it.
like a meteor Phi, it would knock their Phi
Okay,
off sometimes.
okay.
All right, we got to make
All right.
cuts. I feel like let's
I'll
cut it.
surrender it. I'll surrender it.
cut
The it's not in the Halo Wars 2. I mean, Halo Wars is a strong move against it.
I'm gonna let's talk about the ghost too. Let's cut the ghost. I hate not having No. Just listen. I don't like not having a warthog and a ghost because those are like the iconic vehicles in Halo.
You still have the transport.
But again,
hog,
it's
Colin.
prototype. There's a lot of other stuff on here that I would rather have.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at that ghost, it doesn't. The ghost is in Halo Wars, isn't it?
Yeah, they have ghosts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gabe, you gotta surrender.
They look like in Halo Wars, but I was thinking about it. I was like, really, it doesn't even look like a ghost. It looks like when you look at a ghost from too many chunks away and it hasn't rendered in yet.
Yeah, it's pixelated.
So I'm fine with that.
Okay, cool. Can I also throw another one? And I'm not picking on you, Gabe, but let's talk about this Rhino because it's only in Halo Wars as far as I know. And I have one. I haven't built it yet, but my understanding is it is a little bit flimsy. It's big, which is nice, but I don't know. It's just a weird one to me. Go ahead.
I don't have the Rhino, but does it have the Scorpion problem where the legs fall down like that? Is that what happened?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's got more of those treads.
It's got 6 of them, but mine have been okay.
Okay, so they stay up. They don't dangle like this.
Yeah, I've never had that problem. They're quite tight.
Okay,
I
so
would make the argument that the Rhino is a stronger tank set than the original Scorpion. I feel like
Hands
the
down.
original Scorpion
Let's have that
isn't
conversation.
particularly accurate to the source material, whereas this set, if you compare it just in terms of value, you get the bigger tank, you get a tank that's got space for 2 figures inside it, and you also get a full runner structure with it as well.
Right, but
Yep.
why? But when we're talking about the Rhino and the Scorpion, one doesn't have to negate the other. So they could. I mean, in my opinion, I think the Scorpion should still stay because I'll say there's a couple of other sets that can go before it. I'm gonna probably say the Wolverine can go before the Scorpion.
Yeah, I agree.
What are we
Okay.
debating right now? Are we still debating the Rhino, or are we?
Well, we have to.
We're gonna make cuts. We gotta make two more cuts. Is that where we're at?
Yes, we want to attack a set, but we also have to say, is it better than this set? So you got to bring up other sets. You can't just stay with that one set.
I would. So I actually, when you bring up the Scorpion, I nominate because it's an iconic vehicle. Again, like we're cutting all these iconic vehicles, but I think as a set, the Rhino is a better set. Let's take out like the cost of it because I think it is a little more expensive set. It's only in Halo Wars, but if you want a bigger tank, like the Scorpion, the original Scorpion design, it feels smaller than what it should be, right?
Yeah.
You want like the Scorpion, you want this to be this big thing, and especially like they have the Grizzly. Like we haven't gotten a Grizzly, but if you give me a tank, I mean, I know they had to build the Scorpion because that's iconic, but like I want that Grizzly.
Right.
I would gladly give up the Series 1 before I gave up the Rhino.
I agree.
Oh,
So
okay.
if we need to cut Series 1,
Yeah, I say we cut it.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's cut it then. Let's
All
just
right,
not
so
even.
and that leaves one more.
One
So
more.
Rhino and then Scorpion. Maybe do we cut Scorpion or is that it?
No. I want to keep. I want to fight for the Scorpion still.
Okay. So it's Wolverine. It's Wolverine or Scorpion. I think is kind of.
Well,
where we're
we
at.
also have the Goshawk versus the Locust, and in my opinion, the Locust has severe design flaws.
Yeah.
Colin has the
true.
Scorpion now. Matt, you have the Wraith because you all switched.
Right. I know the Wraith is still on the list.
Right.
Yeah, we haven't talked about the Wraith. I'm fine
'Cause the
leaving
Wraith
that
is-
on there because it's
yeah,
a solid
I think
build.
I think the Wraith deserves to remain.
I think it's worth leaving the Gausog versus the Locust just because of how it balanced out the line at the time. So at the time you had a lot more UNSC vehicles and the Locust was a Covenant counterpart for that, which just gave you more options for display. And also, again, when we're thinking about playability as a factor here, that set alone is a place in a box. You get a UNSC vehicle and a Covenant vehicle. It's the definition of a perfect army builder.
Exactly. So
I mean, Locust is cool. I don't think I have a complete Locust yet. I've gotten parts of them, but yeah, I think it's a cool looking vehicle. Like I want to see Halo. I want to see it in proper Halo, right? First person shooter Halo. A Locust, give me one. I want to battle one of those things or drive one of those things. That would be sweet. So I don't know. It's just a cool vehicle. It's weird to like cut iconic stuff, but keep the Locust. But the Locust is very iconic Halo Wars. That's where it came from.
I'm still iffy on Scorpion. Like I find the first gen Scorpion. Well, see, Matt, hold up your Scorpion again.
It's got
a couple issues.
It can roll over stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going to say, I had a chance to buy that set a lot, and I chose not to.
Yeah. That's what I did as well. I'm just not...
I will say that the only design flaw that it has is that the legs fall down. Other than that, it's a fairly solid build.
Yeah, but it's still
works
basic.
The machine gun turret.
The turret is...
It's certainly a Halo Combat Evolved design. There is no gunner position. It has the machine Halo and Halo 2.
Well, even the main turret.
So I'm not gonna argue. Right, it doesn't have the fins to it on the side. Yeah, I will. Okay, so what we need to argue is, does the Scorpion? It obviously has many design flaws, but does it ebb out other sets? Right. So we got to look at.
What else?
Like aerial ambush. I feel like the Anniversary saves it.
Yeah.
If Anniversary wasn't there, I would have had that on the chopping block, due mainly to the Banshee, because the first Banshee. So we have to decide.
So is it between my opinion, and Wolverine?
I'd say the short list right now would be the drop pods, the Wolverine, and the Scorpion. We got to pick from those three.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled up some reference material for the Halo Wars Scorpion. I didn't realize how close it was to the other like sort of Bungie era designs. I thought it might have been a bit different, but I've got to level with you. That Scorpion that Mega did for Wave 1, it kind of looks like an amalgamation of the Grizzly and the Scorpion, as opposed to being faithful to one design.
Well,
like, looking at the Scorpion design here, all of the antennas and things that are present are more a Grizzly design, and that literally, the head there looks like the Grizzly head, but with one turret instead of four.
See, but one good thing that Gabe pointed out is it doesn't have that kind of Scorpion fin. Another thing
like a Scorpion to me.
Another thing I'll say is I'm not a fan of this hollow interior.
Yeah.
Other Scorpions, they left you with a little like a box bay.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, so I will say it looks like we're gonna drop the Scorpion.
I'm fine with that.
Okay. All right. So, gentlemen, we are now on to the final round. Round 3. We must now nominate top 1s and top 10s. So we're going to have to say, we're going to have to cut 2, and then the rest we're going to have to work out what is the superior set. Now,
wait, we still got to cut 2? Jeez.
Yeah,
yep,
but we're nominating now. Are we going to work top down and like say, okay, this is my favorite?
You want to drop the drop pods?
Yeah, I think.
Well, wait, hold on. Let's not do that yet. Let's go. Let's all nominate. Let's go order. Like, what's my favorite, and let's go down the list. Okay, let's kind of work a little list out.
Gabe, why don't you say what set deserves to be number 1?
Out of all of them, or just mine?
No, out of the 12 we have left.
Yeah, out of the ones we've got left. Number 1 over all others.
What's the best here?
Oh, that's tough. There's so much that works against and with my opinions. Like, I kind of want to say Pelican, but that's only because it's the Pelican. If I compare this to the newest Pelican, leagues away. Like, I feel like I only want to say Pelican because it's classic. It was the first Pelican.
Well, we can discuss it later. Just gut feeling.
I kind of want to do, honestly, Goshawk versus Locust.
Okay. That's what you think is the number 1.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow,
impressive.
Okay.
Colin, what are we going for?
Let's go with, so still on top, let's go with that Pelican dropship.
Pelican as the number 1. Excellent.
All right.
Tom, what are we going as number 1?
I'm going with the Pelican as well, just because of where it sat in the assortment at the time.
So can we, instead of all doing number 1, now we're working on this list together, right? So let's start to order it. So Gabe picked his, I picked mine. Now you add another one to the list.
Okay, so if we're adding another one to the list, jeez, I'm gonna say elephant.
Elephant.
Yeah,
all right.
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the aerial ambush because I think I'm mainly leaning anniversary. I think, in my opinion, this set right here captures more of Halo Wars than the other sets that we've listed.
Okay.
Because I think it has a very unique Halo Wars feel, especially with the Flame Marine. And I'm basically, I'll say I'm throwing out the original, and I'm just going to argue now for the anniversary.
Yep.
Because I think it's the superior. All right. So those 4 are what we're going with right now. I'm going to agree. So we picked those. I'm going to agree with Colin that I think the Pelican deserves to be number 1. There's a lot of problems with this Pelican, but I think where Mega was at the time and what it is right now, I think it's still a very solid build. I have a story for it though. I did the other day drop my OG Pelican from about 2.5 feet. It shattered, and I spent a good time putting it back together. I didn't have the instructions with me. It was just kind of how I feel, but I am one pieces. I couldn't find where it went, so I have 2 angle piece that I couldn't find where it went. I just put it in the bay. But I agree. I don't particularly like the figures that come with the Pelican. They're yellow. I could give or take. But I think the Pelicans, for where Mega was at, I think it's a solid design. And I personally think it deserves to be at least in the top 3.
Yeah, I think people still think that, they like it better than the gunship, mainly because of the design, but I think they did a really good job.
The problem with this Pelican is you have the Infinite Pelican, and the Infinite Pelican it's on another level.
Yeah.
It might just be, the Pelican might be one of the greatest sets Mega Constructs has ever made.
Pelican, wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna third. That doesn't sound right. I'm gonna third. Yeah, I'm gonna also say that the UNSC Pelican dropship should be number 1.
Really?
Because I think just when you look at the history of this line as well, that was the first time that Mega kind of took a really big risk and actually made a larger set. And even for mine, it never got fully assembled because it wouldn't go together properly. But I still can remember how much I wanted that set and how much people clamoured for that set. And I just think that it kind of represents really this going from just another toy line to actually starting to grow into a line that's lasted for so long.
And it may be one of the more traditional Pelicans, right? It has the Pelican Bay. The Infinite Pelican does not have a traditional Pelican Bay. So this is your, and the way I always see this Pelican is it's how I view the games. Combat Evolved's graphics aren't as great as, say, Halo 5, but Combat Evolved is such a special game to me, and I kind of view the Pelican within those graphics.
Sure.
So it's
That's
where
fair.
I'm at with that.
Yep.
Yeah. So unless, Gabe, you want to challenge that, we're gonna Pelican it up.
I feel like we still had to have the larger conversation. Let's add a couple more to the list.
Okay.
Like, I don't want to crown yet. We're not done with the list.
We've got Goshawk versus Locust, Pelican. Did you say aerial ambush?
Yes.
And the 4th.
Elephant. The elephant.
Okay.
Yep. Okay. Let's just go around and we'll each pick another one.
Yeah.
All right, Gabe, pick another one.
Vulture. I love Vulture.
That is a solid pick.
So
Tom?
can you?
I'm sorry.
I've always thought the Vulture is just a big, chunky, weird. Like, why is this thing floating in the air?
Yeah,
I don't really
picked that
like
up
the design personally, but it's more of like a design of the vehicle, not the set. Like, if the set seems true to it.
Yeah.
Can you? Let's do a little Vulture.
It's basically avatars. It's very Avatar-y.
Yes.
Very Avatar.
Yes. exactly what I was going to say. It's Quaritch's gunship from the tree attack sequence. It's just, I love how it's like a mobile platform of firepower. Yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying, Colin, where the design feels like it's not very aerodynamic.
Right.
But I feel
and
always
when
felt
you're
more
playing Halo
hover to
Wars,
me.
it just kind of plods along. Like it's powerful,
Yeah.
but it's like it just kind of moves slowly.
It's-
and then when you
in
finally
my-
get it to your destination, then you blow the
In
crap
my
out of whatever
opinion,
you're
it's like the
shooting at.
mammoth. It's like the mammoth of the air. It's a
Yeah.
slow-moving, heavy artillery platform.
I think it's designed to take a pounding, so it's like slow moving because it's so heavily armored, and it's probably when you look at the way tanks are designed, the reason why driving compartments are so deep in the hull of a tank is for survivability. So if it takes a few hits, then the drivers aren't going to suffer any injuries and they can still fight. So I think the Vulture's probably the same, where it's this really big beefy craft, so it's probably got loads of armor around the exterior so the crew can survive a beating.
It's designed to take a punishment.
Moving from like how it is in game and talking about the set itself, I enjoy the set because it is like, to me at least, I don't know if anybody else feel this way, but I always wanted them to make a Vulture.
Yeah.
Like I always saw it in game and was like, oh dude, like that's the other big aerial vehicle. Like I would love a Vulture. And when they did it, I was like, oh my god, they actually made it.
Yeah.
And regardless of the figures it comes with, which was an Enforcer and Agent Locke, which I'm a fan of Locke. I think he's cool. But regardless, the
I like
Vulture,
Locke.
I mean, it's a big UNSC aerial vehicle. It's no question that most of the Mega Constructs community is obsessed with the UNSC. Like UNSC has always been more popular than the Covenant.
Yeah.
Well,
they're good
And
guys.
it just adds another like hulking, powerful entity to, if you're making a mock or you want to play with it or you just have you're collecting. I mean, it's like there it is next to the Pelican and next to the Hawks and the Falcons and all that.
Okay.
All right, so why don't we leave that there? And Colin, why don't you grab one from the list?
Transport
that you
hub.
believe-
Add me
Transport
that transport hub.
All right, Tom.
Gotta have a hog.
Short sword. The
The short sword. Excellent.
Excellent.
Now, let me see. I will say that the
Tom only likes the short sword because it looks like a dinosaur footprint.
it actually looks like the rebel symbol, kind of. I'm gonna
What's
say.
the dinosaur?
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go with the Wraith.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that set has a lot of unique qualities. All right, so right there we have 8 on the docket.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're basically just choosing the next 2 that need to stay in this top 10, and then what's left is left.
Okay. Well, I think we can argue to get the other 2 on if we need to. But,
Right. Yeah, we can
we're at the
interchange
bottom
it.
of
That's
the
why.
barrel here.
That's
These
why I
ones
wanted to
won't
leave
be
12.
top 5.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think we'll
Yeah,
argue
I mean,
that.
if you're making,
So right now we have the drop pods and
the Rhino, the Hornet and Vampire, and the Wolverine.
Yeah.
Yep. So we have.
I'm going to go back to the argument we had about the Wolverine and say I'd get rid of that. Purely because for me that set kind of sits on the same level as the Gremlin, where I really, really like it in terms of its vehicle aesthetic. It's unique in the universe compared to anything else. But when I, again, compare it to the other sets here, if I had to choose between any of these sets and that, I probably wouldn't choose it.
It's got good
I will
playability
agree.
though. Like
I
it's
will
got the little
agree.
rocket things. Like if you want, if you're younger, you can aim that thing at enemies and knock them over and stuff.
Yeah.
I think the Wolverine has in my opinion it's one of the more solid builds in the early stages of Mega. I never felt like this thing was gonna snap apart on me. The only thing I'll say is that it really kind of feels, how best to put this? It doesn't really feel like a military vehicle, in that the way it's designed, it looks more like an armored Batmobile. Like with the with the guy in the middle, it looks like Batman's arming for the apocalypse with a missile cannon. Like, so if it was a military vehicle, I'd feel like this kind of a missile launcher would be more of a truck.
Yeah.
right? Where the driver would be up here, and then the missile canopy would be in the back.
Well,
And just
keep
the,
in mind,
the guns
we're
on the side.
We're in 25, whatever, right? Like we're in the future,
Right, but we're gonna assume that
That's with the
one
exact date.
we're gonna assume that one pilot is manning the side guns and the missile launchers while driving. See,
Yeah.
we still have the. Did we cut the Cobra?
Nobody.
we
picked
never
it in
talked
the
about the
end,
Cobra.
but- Yeah.
It just got cut on cut of the 8.
Yeah, nobody added the Cobra.
Yeah. So like
Cobra's
the
weird.
the Cobra's weird, but like it has in my opinion, I was thinking about the Cobra, but I'm thinking about the Halo Wars 2 set, the Siege Cannon,
Yeah.
the Kodiak. That
Yeah,
makes
such
more
a good
sense
set.
as a vehicle. I think that's what the Wolverine was trying to be, was the
Well,
Kodiak.
Wolverine is an anti-air vehicle in game, so
Well, I'm saying,
that's like the rock
design
paper
aesthetic.
scissors. Like if you have a bunch of Banshees around and aerial vehicles, then you put out those Wolverines and they'll take those down with their missiles.
Right, I'm saying on like a
So
design
and they're
aesthetic.
built more like a tank because the Banshees are firing down below.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's not a mortar, fire vehicle. It's like it's in combat. That's why it
Right,
has the armor.
Yeah, I just think it's a little much to ask for one driver to man all these different capacities. Even
Yeah, I
if
get that.
it's
Yeah.
in the future, you're still asking one person to do it.
Colin, would
Yeah.
you choose this version or the Halo Wars 2 version? If you had to make a choice between
Oh, I like that build and that design a little bit better. Yeah.
Okay.
The Halo Wars 2 also doesn't have actual buildable treads.
It's got
Or is
buildable
that-
cannons too.
Yeah,
No,
buildable
but
cannons.
the treads, is it still one rubber piece or is it
It's
more
a
like
rubber
the new
piece,
Scorpions? Oh, okay.
I think let's come back to this. I'm gonna say that the drop pods go now because they've made
Okay.
it this far, but they don't compare to the builds at all.
But do they? You would rather have drop pads, or would you rather have Rhino? You
Being
think they'll have
realistic,
Yeah.
aren't the drop pod we're talking about the original ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that are based on Halo 3 ODST.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should probably get rid of the drop.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So drop pods are gone.
Yeah, because there's not.
There is drop pods in Halo
There's drop
Wars,
pod. Yeah,
but
they
they're
do
just not
do
as detailed.
ODSTs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In my opinion, you can kind of fudge it. Yeah. So drop pods are gone. That leaves us. So it looks like the Wolverine seems to be the mostly contested
Yeah.
one right now.
That's
now,
fine. Let's put.
let me pin a set against it. Oh no, never mind. Yeah,
Well, we haven't
we're-
talked about the Hornet and the Vampire. You guys
That's
want
what
to
I was
talk
about
about
to bring up. Like, I'm comparing these, like, would I rather have a Wolverine or a Hornet and a Vampire? Hornet and a Vampire, to me, would probably be... It's funny because the Wolverine's made to destroy the Vampire, but
Yeah.
I'd probably pick Hornet and a Vampire because, for one, it's 2 aerial
Yep.
vehicles. I think
That's
the
fair.
whole
Yeah.
set comes with 4 figures?
Yep.
3 or 4? Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the Vampire, for one, this would be the second ever iteration of the Vampire. The first one coming with the Grizzly, but
Grizzly.
No.
Grizzly comes with a Vampire, doesn't it?
There's no Grizzly.
There's no Grizzly.
You're thinking
The Vampire
covert
comes
of
with the
Scorpion.
ODST Scorpion.
Oh, is that just a covert ops Scorpion?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
So anyway, the first Vampire comes with a covert ops Scorpion. What the? A covert ops? Okay, anyway. I think the Vampire
That's a good
is
point.
like one of the most wicked looking vehicles.
It
by
is
the way.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
agree.
it's so cool looking. But I mean, the major point of that set, you get a lights and sounds UNSC aerial vehicle.
Yeah.
You get
Yeah.
a buildable
Yeah.
Covenant aerial vehicle. You get 4 figures. I mean, it's just like the Gosshog and the Locust. It's a good play set.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you've got one kid, he's got both sides. You got 2 kids, each one can be a side. You know it. Even for you could
That's fair.
use it if you want to set it up.
The Cadet's logic is sound.
Yeah, I think in my opinion as well, that's still the strongest Hornet build we've got.
I agree
feel
with that.
like the Halo 3 build, obviously they were going for a cheaper price point, so they didn't put as much detail in. But I think when you compare the two, that Hornet just knocks it out of the water.
So
Okay.
it's either Wolverine or Rhino, really, right? And you guys think
Yeah.
Rhino needs to stay?
Yes.
Okay.
I vote
I'm the
Rhino
only
over
one
Wolverine.
that likes the Wolverine, so that's fine. So we'll cut that. So we're down to 10.
All right. We're down to 10
Okay,
now.
here we go.
All right. So what deserves to be the number 1? 3 of us say Pelican. Gabe, you on board with that Pelican? Or do you want to challenge it with a set that we have remaining?
It's worth challenging because, like, it's just because I don't know. I just feel like it's such a it's the Pelican. Like, I don't know. The build itself is cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it was like amazing. I mean, it's a cool
Right.
set, but
Well, what would you say, in your opinion, challenges the number one spot?
I mean, you like the Vulture, right?
the Vulture. Yeah, I like the Vulture.
Does the Vulture ebb out the Pelican for you? Because I'm willing to follow you on that. I like the Vulture.
Honestly,
I can be persuaded.
builds wise, I would go with Vulture.
It's
I like
a
it
newer
newer
set.
set.
than the Pelican.
Tom just built it recently, so
I would make the counter argument that the Vulture, one of the reasons why the Vulture is such a strong build is because it's not authentic to what the vehicle's meant to be. They turned it into a troop transport. That's not what the Vulture is in the game. The Vulture is a gunship. So in reality,
Good point.
a lot of that playability should have maybe been launching missiles or other things. And I think when you compare that, there's a reason why they made it a troop base. It's because sets like the Pelican are so popular, so they wanted it to be an equivalent to that.
Yeah,
so I
exactly.
think that almost adds more credibility to the argument for the Pelican.
I can't lie. I don't remember the Vulture having a troop bay. Does it have a troop bay?
No.
So
What?
I'm saying they gave it a troop bay when it doesn't have one.
I know. I don't remember the set having a troop bay. It has a troop bay?
Yeah, it's got 4 seats in the back of it
Yeah.
and an opening ramp.
Interesting.
All right, so we're going to leave the Pelican on the number one spot because I think
Yeah, I mean,
right now.
I'll surrender and let Pelican
Okay.
go up there.
All right, gentlemen, what deserves to be the number two?
I say
Vulture.
Goshawk versus Locust.
Oh. Okay.
I
Tom?
put that above Vulture.
Tom,
What
what do you
about-
think's the number two?
So what about Elephant?
I think Elephant's probably like number 5 or 6.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but what is your pick for number two? What deserves to be under the Pelican?
Let me take a look at this list.
Colin, what are you thinking?
Well, I like the Locust, but the build isn't like, I know people had problems with it, and I've spent some time with it, but I like the look of it. You know, we have these kind of combo packs here, which is hard to argue against, like the playability standpoint. Like you're getting one from each side, which is pretty rad. The aerial ambush, like that thing looks rock solid. I haven't built mine yet, but like the look of
It's
that,
a pretty good set.
Banshee is pretty sweet, and I know the build is better.
Yeah, I'm gonna
so,
go aerial ambush for my number two. I think that deserves to be the second.
Okay.
I'm going to go Vulture.
Vulture. So we have Colin. Are you gonna go? Aerial ambush? Or are
Yeah,
you gonna go?
I like
okay.
that. Actually, I like the elephant in number 2.
Okay,
me.
elephant.
Okay, so we're all over the place for number 2.
Gabe, what was
Okay,
yours?
so
There was
let's-
a locust.
Mine was Goshawk versus Locust because
Okay.
I mean it's got a Warthog in it, and I know that everybody loves Warthog, and you know, big Covenant.
Okay, so I'm gonna knock the locust, and similar to how we knocked the OG hog, the goshawk versus locust, in my opinion, is also kind of that prototype feel.
Yeah.
The
The
design,
second Locust is way better than the first Locust, of course.
true this, but in my opinion, I think the hard part about you bringing in the newer locust is that it's kind of then a different set, because this is a locust and a goshawk. You know what you know that feel? So my
Because the other one's
experience-
first a turret, right?
no, it's just with
That's
It's a
flags.
mongoose.
Or it's a mongoose.
Mongoose, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. So I think the hog is the stronger build in that set. The locust falls very short for me, and I think that's what kind of pulls it down. So in my opinion, it shares that aerial ambush feel where the original, the Banshee, really pulls it down. This one, the locust, pulls it down a lot. So I don't think it.
Yeah.
I think it deserves to be way lower.
I'm gonna do something controversial.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna break the stalemate and go with the Warthog and Locust as well, because I think that set for the number 2 spot, when I think about it, it perfectly encapsulates Halo Wars, because at the time,
Over the aerial ambush?
ironically enough, if you'd gone with the original version of that over the newer version, I'd probably say more, because my logic here is that Aerial Ambush is good, but obviously we've gone with the anniversary version, unless you still want to go with both of them.
Well, I'm saying that the anniversary pulls the old one along,
okay,
in my
so
opinion.
Then
But if you want
a similar argument for that here, I think in this case, the Warthog is, as we have said, very iconic. It's typically Halo. It's one of the most common vehicles.
Yeah.
Okay, so number one, we have Pelican.
Yep.
What deserves to be the lowest on this list, then? Let's go from the other angle.
Oh, okay.
What's the worst of this one?
I'd say the Wraith. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wraith, all right. Wraith's number 10. What do you think comes up at number 9? We'll build up to it. I'm going to go with the Rhino. I think the Rhino should follow there at number 9.
Well, let me compare to everything else.
I'm going to say Transport Hog.
I was going to say above the
yep.
Transport Hog? Yeah.
Yeah,
I
okay.
feel like Transport Hog is a little...
Do you think the Transport Hog is better than the Wraith? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Colin, you good with that? Transport Hog at number 9?
Yeah, we need to build a list, and then we need to kind of react to it. So that's fine for now. I may argue
9.
for it a little ways up.
Do you want to leave the Rhino at 8?
Let's put the Rhino at 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or Short Sword, I think. That would be the other one.
I was going to say that.
Why don't we leave the Rhino at 8 and we'll put the Short Sword at 7?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then 6 we'll go with... Hornet
versus Vampire, I'd say. Oh, I'm getting very close to the camera.
I'm gonna say that the Elephant should be lower. I keep forgetting that's there. I don't have the Elephant. I wasn't particularly happy with the look of it. It kind of looks a little more like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So I would say maybe put the Elephant a little lower. So
so here's my big argument for that Elephant. Well, there's two things. Firstly, it's got the dual functionality where it converts into the mobile command base like it does in Halo Wars. So it locks down, and the way that's designed, you've got a ramp at the front that comes down, a ramp at the back that comes down, a turret that folds up. The top.
So this is because this is all things that I don't know because I don't
to
have
get inside it. Yeah, it's honestly, when it comes to playability, that is one set that I have never had a problem with, and I can do all the functions on it.
Now we're back to playability.
And the second thing is the fact that is the only way that you can get a little AI figure which is intended to be Serena, I believe, because they did. I think it's in it's in a light yellow, so it's not very accurate. But I'm sure that they mentioned that they had intended that one to be Serena when it was included in the set.
Oh.
Okay, so are you good with leaving this at 6, or do you want to save it for later? Because is the Elephant better than you brought the Hornet versus Vampire? Do you want Hornet versus Vampire at 6, Elephant at 5?
I would say that at 6 and Elephant at 5. Yeah.
Okay, I'm good with that, especially because you did it pretty good. Awesome. Now we're going to number 4. I mean, number 5 we have at the Elephant. Number 4 would be Vulture. Okay. And then number 3, we're going to come down to Gauss and Locust versus Aerial Ambush.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say Aerial Ambush number 2 and Gauss and Locust number 3.
I could live with.
Yeah, I could go with that.
Colin, you good with these? What's jumping out at you as incorrect?
Well, I'm trying to put them in order in the document because I need to see it. So what did you say for
Pelican,
number 2?
Aerial Ambush,
Aerial
Locust.
Ambush.
Then we'll have at number 4 is our Vulture. Number 5 is our Elephant. Number 6 is the Hornet versus Vampire. Number 7 is our Rhino. No. Rhino. No. 7 is
Okay, I got the list now. Here we go.
7 is the Short Sword.
All right, so we got Pelican first, Aerial Ambush second, Locust third, Vulture fourth, Elephant fifth, Hornet vs. Vampire 6, Short Sword 7, Rhino 8th, Transport Hog 9, and Wraith 10. That's where we're at right now.
I'm happy with that list.
I am very happy with that list.
solid list.
I think...
Hold on a second.
Oh boy.
Can I take this opportunity to say I did some research again?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy.
On the back of the elephant box, that little micro figure is officially named as Serena.
Oh,
Really?
okay, so it's official.
Yeah.
It is. Yep. Even though it's not the right
Excellent.
color.
Oh, that
She's
means
in
we're gonna have
rampant mode.
Serena. Oh man.
She's in rampant mode. I'm trying to think.
I'm so sorry, Gabe.
I had no idea. Because Isabel comes with Cutter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not dissatisfied with this list. I can't think of anything that I want to say.
I mean, I would move the transport hog a little higher.
And
I really like that little. For some reason, I really like that little thing, and it comes with a bunch of enemies and whatnot.
In defense of the transport hog, if Mega were to create another transport hog, I'd say they'd still keep that same back design because I think it's that good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty awesome. I mean, you could probably tweak it a little bit better to fit the new Phase 2 figures, but I think that's a pretty nice build, and I like the green color, so I wouldn't mind if you wanted to bump it up. In my opinion, I would drop, as much as I like the set and I got it for Christmas, I would drop the Locust a little lower, but if you two guys want it, I think we can compromise on it being in the third. I think you guys got some strong support for it.
I mean, Locust, I don't know. I love the Locust as a concept, but it's not the best build from my
Especially
perspective.
because
so I would move it down the list a little bit. You know, I'd move personally.
I definitely think the Vulture
Elephant
deserves to be
ahead
over the Locust.
So I'd drop Locust down to like 5, and I would probably be okay with that. If we went Pelican 1, Aerial Ambush 2, Vulture or Elephant, and then Locust below those guys. So I guess, Gabe,
would agree with
are
that,
you Locust
actually.
above Vulture and Elephant?
Above.
Bear in mind it now has Serena.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, compared to those two behemoths, no, I'd probably put those above a Locust and a Goss Hog, albeit a
Okay.
old Goss Hog. And
Okay.
If the set were to get an anniversary edition, it'd be up there. Big
I
time.
would lose it.
I know, that'd be great.
We're not saying, Mega, that you have to. We're just saying
Use the
buy it.
Warthog Run chassis design. That would be so cool.
No, just put like the infinite design with the suspension. Just slap a Goss Hog on that.
A banished Locust.
A banished Locust. Bro, you have just made my day.
See, here we go.
Now,
Yeah, that's
now,
gonna be right.
Kevin, we're not saying that that's, but
Kevin.
Okay. So read it off
Right.
now, Max. I think I'm feeling.
So
feeling
did we
decent
agree
about
to
this.
drop the Locust to 5?
Yeah, I moved it down. So I don't know if you can refresh your little.
And
your
we're gonna do
dot.
the Vulture to over the Elephant still.
I'm okay with that. Just it sounds like there's more passion for the Vulture.
Okay.
You know, from a group standpoint, I just think it's a weird
refresh.
vehicle in general. But I think the set.
Well,
is fun.
it's a mining vehicle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
The, what?
So
It
what
is
is
worth
what's
noting
a
where the
Locust.
new elephant does kind of fall down because it's smaller than the traditional one.
Yeah.
the
I'm gonna
elephant?
say.
But yeah, it's more playable though. I feel like, and I think it's better built. But yeah.
To be honest, my problems with the Elephant are just the look of it. I'm sure the build's solid and stuff like that. So, all right. So as of right now, the list stands with Pelican as number 1. Number 2 is our Aerial Ambush. 3 is our Vulture. 4 is the Elephant. 5 is the Goshawk versus the Locust. 6 is our Hornet v Vampire. Short Sword is our number 8. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Short Sword's number 7. 8 is the UNSC Rhino. 9 is our Transport Hog. And 10 is our Wraith.
Yeah.
That's a
Now-
bloody
Good list.
good list.
I can live with that.
Okay, I was just going to say, Colin, I know you were a little down on the Rhino, and you're very positive about the Hog, so I wouldn't mind if you wanted to
but
swap
at the same
that.
time, like it sounds like there's more passion on the Rhino side, and I just like the look of the little quirky transport hog. So I mean, it doesn't have a gun on it. It's like it's used mainly for a background piece. It's well done,
Yeah.
but a Rhino, like it's got a giant turret on it, right? Like you can
Yeah.
blow some
right.
stuff up with that cannon.
This was not as controversial as our Halo 4. I'm glad that we were all kind of a little more on the same page. The
Yeah.
Pelican Pelican found its spot at the top, and I bet you if we did an infinite set, I bet you the Pelican would also be crowned number 1. But
oh no, Turret Takedown.
That's right.
The Dollar General set is like it's up
yeah,
there.
it's up there. Yeah, that blue crate, that Covenant Elite with that blue crate or whatever, that little weapons pack. All right, guys. So that'll conclude our list, and that'll conclude this episode of Builds with Bloks.
Very quickly.
I was gonna give you some shout out times.
I want to do 2 short shout outs. Dawnbreaker sent a really, really cool photo of a Spartan Fire team on the Discord today. So the Discord should be linked in the description of this video. If you're not over there, come and join us. You probably won't see me there because I'm crap at checking it, but there's other people there. You'll have a fun time.
Pseudo's there, you'll be fine.
Also, the Ambush Halo Mega Constructs animation on Locomotion 99's YouTube channel uses Halo sound effects, really smooth animation of an elite coming out of active camo and executing a marine. So make sure to check that out too.
It's very
we
impressive.
should also shout out that soundtrack that's coming out for Podcast Evolved. Like that's
take it
rad.
away.
Yeah,
Trey's done an amazing job with it.
Yeah, so I would just check
awesome.
just promote it. Check it. That thing's out there, and check that out because it's pretty cool. So we commissioned that as in partnership with our patrons, which is
definitely
awesome.
Check that out. I think they put a clip of it on the Podcast Evolved Twitter. So you can support Builds with Bloks and Podcast Evolved on Patreon. You can also just come and check us out on Instagram. You can do Discord, like Tom said, and Twitter. Give us a follow and tag us in anything that you find Mega Constructs related. We'll be happy to discuss it on the show and maybe talk about it. I know Colin wanted to have more people post their stuff so that we could have a little more of a general community discussion.
Yeah,
As that goes, this is the Builds with Bloks Halo Wars review episode. I am your host, Matt Salvatore, and we have Gabe, Tom, and Colin signing off.
Evolved.
As always,
Evolved.
Evolved.
You disappoint me, both of you.
We'll cut that out.
Jeepers. You had one job. All right. Did anybody ever comment about how bad we muffed? Did anybody ever talk to Brickman about the ship?
He commented on it, man.
Oh, he did. I didn't see it.
Oh, what did he say?
He said it was just loosely inspired, basically. So
Okay.
we spent all that time debating for nothing.
Oh my goodness.